Hello, I am Colin McGraw, author of the Tickle Monster Alexa skill on the Hackster.io website, and I am going to show you how to set this game up for yourself. The first thing you're going to want to do is establish an Alexa skill, which you can do easily by searching for Alexa Skills Kit, going to the first link, Developer Console after you've logged in, Alexa Skills Kit Get Started, add a new skill. This will take us to the skill configuration page where we give our skill a name, let's call it Tickle Monster, and an invocation name, which is how you talk to your skill. So if we say, Alexa, ask Tickle Monster to do something, go ahead and click Next. And in the interaction model, go ahead and copy and paste what is on the Hackster.io site. We're establishing the types of things we want our skill to do and respond to. Go ahead and copy over these sample utterances. And what these do is work in conjunction with the intents. So if you ask Alexa, ask Tickle Monster, who's next, it is mapped to the who's next intent, which we can see configured up here. I'll explain that more in a later video. The next page will ask for the endpoint where your code runs. You can see that you can have a secure web service or a Lambda ARN, which is the quickest, easiest way to do this. That's the approach we're going to take. And in order to support that, we want to do a search for AWS Lambda. Go to this page, get started with AWS Lambda. And I think by default it's this is the view you get. You'll want to go to Show All Services, and under Compute, choose Lambda. Get started now. And this is important. In the region, you'll want to choose North Virginia, which is the only region that supports some of the Alexa infrastructure. We're going to do a search for Alexa. Choose the Alexa Skills Kit Color Expert here. The event source type should be the default Alexa Skills Kit. Going to click Next. Going to call this Tickle Monster Setup Sample. Keep the language as Node.js, as our Lambda is written in JavaScript. And for that matter, what we're going to want to do now is go to the code section of the Hackster.io site page, copy the Lambda function, and paste it in here. The one thing you'll want to take note of is at the top, there is a security check to make sure that your Lambda only handles requests for the skill that you set up. And you'll need to input your app ID here. The way we find that is to go back to the skill information, then copy over just the tail end of the application ID. Go ahead and paste that here. And we should be set up. Under Role, Basic Execution Role, which is part of the free tier. Just select the defaults and click Allow. Next, Create Function. Here is our code, and if you notice here, we now have an Amazon Lambda ARN. Go ahead and copy that value. Let's jump back to the skill configuration, because we are going to want to insert that here. Now the last thing we're going to want to do is set up account linking, and in our Tickle Monster skill, we don't manage accounts, but we hack the OAuth protocol to store user selections. So let's go ahead and click Yes here. Jump back over to the Tickle Monster Hackster.io page. Go in the code section to the account linking web page and copy this HTML to an editor where we can get the vendor ID from our Alexa skill configuration, which is found at the tail end of this redirect URL. So take that, paste it here. Save this file and upload it and the Tickle Monster CSS to the website of your choosing. It doesn't matter who's hosting the page, it just has to support SSL. And you can think of this authorization URL like a login page. In my case, I have a personal site where I have already uploaded this HTML page. I'm going to take that URL and use it as our configuration. I'm also going to have a privacy policy page with a simple message that just says we don't share your information. Configure that. And then the last things worth explaining are the client ID, which in our case doesn't matter. Our Alexa skill is the only thing that's going to be calling this login page, so I'm just going to call this Alexa and ignore that value in code. Then domain list and scope is optional configuration that we can use to further tighten security and limit what a client can do. Again, in our case, we just don't care, so let's save this off. Now everything should be set up, and if you want to jump to the next video, we can take a look at how all of this code works in action.